You know, when I was playing this game, I always used to talk about issues with pay to win and stuff like that, and issues with the game developer blatantly not listening to their community. I never truly, I felt like, went in depth about the crates inside of this game because I felt like they weren't wrong. I felt like it was perfectly fine to have these crates in this game. And the more that I look into it recently, you know, I've looked into it, I've looked at studies and certain things about gambling inside of video games. The more I'm kind of connecting the dots, I'm kind of beginning to realize that this is just not a good thing inside of this game. First of all, one thing that we need to understand about crates is that, you know, people say, oh, you don't just have to pay for them. That's one of the things that has been used all the time. Even back when I used to play Warbots, people would use that same exact statement to justify and allow crates inside of mobile games. Well, one of the issues with that is that sometimes you're kind of forced to pay in a sense. You know, in Warbots, there was an extreme level of pay to win, and what they wanted you to do is they wanted you to pay for crates to get an advantage, to make you feel better, to make you happier. And well, it didn't make you happier, of course, it's pay to win. No one likes pay to win, but it wanted to provide that illusion. So if you didn't pay for the crates, then you kind of sucked at that game. And although there is no pay to win inside of this game, I can't say that they're not using tactics that are completely unjustified and honestly on the side of scamming. You know, Call of Duty Mobile and, well, mobile gaming in general have tried to avoid regulation for years of their games with these pay-to-win loot boxes, which, by the way, we can call it loot boxes all we want, but at the end of the day, it's just gambling. It is mobile gambling. The one way that they've gotten around this whole gambling loophole is by basically saying that their crates are not gambling. Because basically you're paying for something. You're not really getting any money in return. All you're getting is an item inside of that game. They're basically saying that that does not fit the dictionary definition of gambling, and therefore it should not be regulated like gambling. That, in my personal opinion, and of course that is an opinion, is a very bad definition. Okay? Again, you're paying for a chance at an item. That is what I would constitute as gambling. It may not be pure money, but it is still gambling. You know, I used to remember there were times when people would, like, give away houses, and basically, in order to enter in to, like, get this house, it was like a raffle. You spent, like, $100 or something for a ticket or something, and then, you know, you'd have a chance at winning that new house for free. Now, just because that's not specifically money does not specifically mean that that is not gambling. You're gambling on the chance of buying an item. And so video game developers have basically banked on that by saying, oh, you know, it's just a video game item, it's not gambling. It is. And that's the issue. You know, there was about to be regulation passed on loot boxes and such things in America, but of course, the whole COVID situation happened and a lot of our courts were shut down, so that never really got passed. It was kind of pushed on the rug. There were a lot of lobbyists as well, so that's great. I know, American politics. I'm not going to get into the political side of this. However, we need to talk about the stuff inside of Call of Duty Mobile specifically, because we already know that loot boxes, they're kind of a scam, but let's talk about Call of Duty Mobile specifically. See, some people may not realize it, but you're actually getting manipulated as soon as you start up the game. See, the thing with this game is that it's trying to get you to take away that value of the money. It's trying to get you to suck money in. You know, I've seen players in certain games in Call of Duty Mobile that have spent thousands of dollars on items inside of this game, and that's ridiculous. You know, some people have spent a total of that much on a video game, and that is absolutely ridiculous. The reason why, and the reason why to the average gambling addict, why that would seem, oh, perfectly fine, is because they're using psychological tactics. Now, first of all, one of the things that they want to get you to do, of course, is to start paying. They want to initiate you paying money in the side of this game. Now, one of the ways that they do this, and this is a proven fact, is that if you create a new account or something in the game, if you download the game for the first time, what it's going to do is it's going to give you items at a significant discount. Because what they want you to do is they want you to just pay a little bit, you know? They want you to pay, even if it's just $1. That's what they want you to do. See, even you can see it now when, if you start up the game sometimes, you might get like $1 deal. Say it's like 60 COD points and, you know, one of the little loot boxes, okay? That is going to cost you $1. And that's really not going to gain COD Mobile very much, or really anything at all. I mean, it's just $1. What they want you to do is they want you to start paying so that eventually they can work you up to, you know, higher prices, all the way up to hopefully the mythic weapons, which are $300. See, that in itself is just trying to initiate paying and stuff like that. That's not really that bad. But let's talk about COD points themselves. COD points' existence in this game is a perfect example of Call of Duty Mobile trying to take away the weight and the stigma around money, okay? See, why wouldn't Call of Duty Mobile just want to charge, put on their crates, oh, it's $10 per 10 crates or whatever? Why would they want to make it 1,400 COD points? See, to the average player or a new player, even just a player that's been playing for a while, saying that a lucky draw costs like 10,000, 15,000 COD points or something like that to get the eventual legendary weapon, well, that wouldn't really matter that much to them because, see, the COD points don't really represent anything. You can't get them inside of this game for free. They are a premium currency. Why wouldn't COD Mobile want to be just direct with things? Because they want to take away the money value. See, the thing is that when you start paying and when you start buying COD points, that's going to immediately take away their value. That value, that COD point right there, one COD point costs whatever, nobody knows. And when you're making this premium in-game currency, what that does is that tricks the player into thinking that they're paying less of what they actually are. And to the perfectly rational person, they might say, oh, well, the obvious price that you paid for it when paying for the COD point. But yes, back in the mind psychologically, it's really tricking your brain into thinking, hey, you're paying not as much as you actually are, or it's trying to kind of get you to think, that you're not really paying with real money. It's taking away that rational thought of money and kind of converting it into the COD point. Okay, so you then go on to spend the COD points on the lucky draws, which are, of course, scams. See, the thing with a lot of these lucky draws is that people don't understand their odds fully. COD Mobile has taken a step that most, mobile games don't do with their lucky draws. What they have done is they have shown the odds for, your pull, your spin, and that's something that I'll give them props for. However, that does not make them any less scammy, really, because first of all, you would think that important information like the odds of the draw, because the odds of the draw actually represent the real value of the lucky draw, would be shown on the front page, but instead you have to click a more info tab. Again, that's just one extra step. Hopefully they can kind of, again, take away that rational thought of, this is a scam, and convert that into, oh, this is actually lucky, I might get lucky, when in reality, there's a 90% chance that you're going to have to spend like $150 on that lucky draw in order to get that weapon. But of course, at this point, it only costs, 15,000 COD points or whatever. See, what COD Mobile is trying to do is they're trying to trick you. Maybe, your rational side of your brain, maybe it'll be able to figure it out, your actual thought process. But deep inside that brain, what it's doing is it's preparing you, it's prepping you to pay. See, that's why you'll see a lot of these, big gambling addicts, they call them the whales. What they'll do is they will spend hundreds of dollars in a session or something, and then they'll be like, I don't know what I was doing, I wasn't thinking, and blah, blah, blah. It's because they were prepared so much to pay that point that the money kind of lost value to them because they were purchasing this currency. See, what you guys don't understand, I think, is that Call of Duty Mobile, most video games, they actually will hire psychologists and things like that to go over their game and figure out, it's really sketchy. They will try and figure out exactly, how we can arm that brain, how can we get that brain to pay. What they want to do is they want to keep those numbers up in terms of the amounts of players that are paying. See, there are statistics that show that, of course, gambling addicts are more likely to spend money on mobile games, and people that gamble in mobile games are more likely to go out to a casino or something like that. That's a very interesting part, is that this game is meant to bring gamblers and gambling addicts in order to pay. See, the top 2% of the paying player base for most mobile games actually represents about 40 to 50% of the revenue that goes to the game developer. That top 2%, those would be what's considered the whales. See, I had players that, when I was playing Warbots, the incredibly scammy pay-to-win lootbox-based game, they would go out and they would spend hundreds of dollars every single update, every single month, sometimes even more, just to kind of stay on top and have all those new shiny weapons. And that was absolutely terrible. That's terrifying to think about. But, again, you're buying these premium currencies and stuff like that. It's making your brain think that you are spending less than you actually are, and it's taking away that money value. See, lucky draws in their essence really don't need to exist. Nobody likes them, and they are rigged. They're blatantly rigged. And the issue is that this is a mobile game. Now, although Call of Duty Mobile is like an E13 plus game, their main player base is definitely kids. They're trying to focus their game towards children, and that's what makes mobile games and loot boxes in mobile games especially bad. When you go to a casino or something, most of the time, all of the slot machines and stuff, legally by law, a person under 18 is not allowed to use because, of course, they don't really have an understanding of money or how it works exactly. And so the issue with that is that Call of Duty Mobile, this is a game that really anyone can play, 18 under anyone, and the fact is that most of the player base is under 18. Well, Call of Duty Mobile is focusing this towards children. They want children to pay. See, look at the game that you're playing, a lot of the maps and stuff are cartoony. The graphics are much more cartoony compared to PC because they know this. Again, this is something that they have studied. A lot of the stuff inside of this game is focused towards kids, just as like cigarette and tobacco companies, that's what they did back in like the 60s and stuff, is they focused their stuff towards kids. Something that's been used all the time, but the issue is that this is something that for some reason people don't look at or they don't realize and they don't understand exactly how bad this has gotten. Video games like Call of Duty Mobile, and I'm not even saying that Call of Duty Mobile is like the worst case of this, because they're not, and that's even more astounding, is the fact that Call of Duty Mobile, although they're taking advantage of children and stuff like this for their loot boxes, although they're definitely manipulating people into paying, they're not the worst people here, okay? Almost all of these video game developers on the mobile platform are just like this. Some people see this as like a necessity, loot boxes and things. They're not. A lot of video games have gone a long time without these loot boxes. This is a more recent thing. It's kind of caught wind in the mobile franchise, and I really think that's wrong. The issue is that this got swept under the rug, during COVID and everything, and now it looks like we're just going to continuously have loot boxes. I can't wait for the day that there is actually regulation and this is treated like gambling, because, we should not be allowing, like, children and young children to be spending this ridiculous amount of money on this game, because that's what they're focused on. They're focused on getting children, unsuspecting children, to, ask their parents or something, or, use their allowance money towards gambling, blatant gambling. So yeah, I want to hear what you guys have to say about this topic. It's an interesting topic to think about in the psychology. I scratched the surface of it. There is a lot more to it, but I just wanted to kind of explain it as simplistic as possible. I love y'all. I hope you guys have a great day. I will see you next time, guys. This is Kamikaze, signing out.